Today we are going to learn all about selections in Photoshop, alright, because selections are very important in Photoshop. What I will do, I will open any image, okay, these are my recent image, I will just click this image and this photo will be open for me, alright. So you can open any photo in Photoshop or even in drawing documents, we will see how we can use selection tools as well. Selections tools are very important because we have to select the pixels in Photoshop to work with. If you want to work with the pixels, you have to select that pixels. For example, okay, I will do zoom, alt and scroll wheel, alright. You can do zoom like this, simple. Here we have some selections tools. For example, first we have rectangular marquee tool. With this tool, you can select pixels rectangular like this. In rectangular pattern, you can select pixels. Now these pixels has been selected. Now what do you want to do with these pixels? Right? After making selection, what you can do? You can do many things. Alright? If you want to move this selection, we can move it. If you want to delete that pixels, you can delete it. If you can copy, you can copy. If you want to cut, you can cut. If you want to fill, you can fill also. This pixels which you have selected, we will do one by one. Here we have whole menu related to selection. We have like select all, deselect, inverse, all we will see one by one. First of all, after making selection, if you want to make it disappear, alright. So here we have one key which we will use a lot, Control D. Control D for deselect. If you will make any selection after this, you have, if you are not satisfied with it, you have to do press Control D from the keyboard, so you will make disappear. Alright, any after making any selection, okay, because if you have made it any selection and if you will try to do something outside like this, you cannot, because this is your active area right now. So you have to first of all make it disappear, right, or make it disable. So you will go to select and here we have deselect, Control D. Alright, that's how you can select and deselect pixels. And if you want to reselect again, this whatever you have selected before, you can also reselect, and Shift Control D is a shortcut key. Then that pixel which you have selected and deselected, then you can reselect them again. Alright, this is the easiest process. I will create a new document and we'll see how actually this works. So I'll go, for example, print, and I will take A4 document, create new and create A4 document. Okay, here I can also select pixels like white pixels I have selected, these pixels I have selected. These are white empty pixels. What I can do, I can only fill them. If you want to fill this pixel, just right click and choose fill command. Right click and choose fill. How you want to fill this area? Here you have contents. What you want to fill? You want to fill foreground color. In Photoshop, we have here foreground and background color, two options we have. We don't have fill and stroke color like Illustrator. Here which you see are two foreground and background. And here if you want to fill foreground color, so that color which is on top will be filled. Click OK, let's see. Again right click and fill, and if you want to fill background color, so background color right now is white, so that color will be filled. If you want to change foreground and background color, just click on this foreground color and just save it for future use. And here also click this one and you can choose also, means you can use two colors at a time for your project. Now you have foreground and background color. If you want to fill in this selection, foreground color, go to fill and select foreground color. Look, foreground color will be selected. Filled will be filled, and same and fill, and from here background color and background color will be filled. The shortcut key to fill foreground color and background color, if you want to fill foreground color, press Alt and backspace. This is very important shortcut key. Alt key and backspace together. If you want to fill background color, then you need to press Ctrl and backspace. Okay. You can fill also in a new layer. For example, I will deselect it, go to select and or press Ctrl D. Now the selection has been removed. From here in layers panel, you can create a new empty layer by clicking on this down. Okay, here you will click, it will show you add new layer or create new layer. Now new layer has been created. If you want to fill this layer, alright, so what you can do, you can use also Alt backspace to fill the whole layer with the foreground color. Control backspace, you can fill the whole layer with background color, alright. And if you want to change order, you can also change order. For example, I will fill Alt backspace, foreground color, and you can change also order. I cannot change order, why? Because the lower layer is a background, and background we cannot move, alright, we cannot change. So if you want to convert it into layer, just click on this lock icon and then it will be converted into layer. Then you can change their order like this. Alright. So that's we have learned how you can make a selection. Still here, if you want to make a selection, we have also elliptical selections. So you can select elliptical pixels like this, and if you want to fill it, right click and just then fill and choose from here. You can choose foreground, background, you can choose another color as well if you don't want to use that foreground and background color. Just make your own color and click OK, it will be filled. Let me tell you one thing, it's a destructive method, means you are doing direct painting on the layer. After deselecting, if you will move it, that circle if you want to move, you cannot because you have directly painted, alright, you have directly painted. So this is destructive method or direct method. Okay, I will do undo, Control Z. Again, if you want to make another selection like this, you are making on the same layer which you have selected. If you want to fill it, alright, same you can use fill here, alright, or right click and fill, and from here you can choose also pattern. Okay, content aware we will study. If you click on pattern, so you can also fill any pattern from here in that particular selection like this. Alright, again I will tell you it's a non-destructive method, alright, sorry, it's a destructive method. After deselecting you cannot move it. How you can make it non-destructively? You have to take blank empty layer from here. Take blank empty layer, alright, like this, or you can go layer, new, and here new layer you can also take, Shift Control N. If you press here, it will ask you layer name and click OK, then blank layer will be given to you. You can take from there or from here as well, it's your own choice. If you have taken this blank layer now, alright, layers actually are transparent stacking orders. So always you should keep one eye on this layer panel. Now if you will make a selection like this, actually you have made a selection on this layer 3. If you fill it right now and just go fill and choose from here like any foreground color like this, so it's filled. Now you can move it because after deselect, go deselect, and now you can move it. Take move tool, now you can move it because you have drawn on empty layer. So if you want to create with non-destructive, then you have to take a new layer from here. If you want to delete any layer, select and just click here, so and yes, so that layer will be deleted. Select and delete like this, and you want to delete this layer, you can delete as well. So that's how you can select pixels and how you can fill them. Now we'll see how we can move selected pixels. For example, I want to move particular pixels from this photo. I have selected these pixels. We know that if you want to fill this area, you can right click and you can fill, but we will not fill now. I want to move these pixels to another document. So take a move tool from here, alright, then click and hold, don't release, take to next document and drop here. Students are doing mistake, they are dropping on the same this title bar. Don't drop here, drop inside the document. Now you see you brought it that pixels in this document, right? So press enter. So from any document, alright, you can select a particular pixels like this. If you want elliptical pixels, just select like this, take move tool. Don't try with the same tool. If you will try with the same, you will bring only selection, right? We don't want. Control D and go here and take move tool. This is important point. Move tool, and now just select and you can just bring these pixels to another document. Clear, right? So if you want to delete, you can delete. So that's how you can move pixels from one document to another document, alright. If you want to, we have many options. If you just make a selection like this and just right click, so you will get also options related to the selection. So you can deselect it, alright. If you will deselect, it will be deselected like this, alright. And then you have some modification. You can copy, alright, layer via copy. So it will create a copy of that selected pixels like this. Now you can hide that bottom layer, or you want to delete, you can also delete from here like this, alright. Now you have copied. Okay, again I will select more, for example like this, alright, right click and layer via copy. The shortcut key for layer via copy is Ctrl J, alright. If you press Ctrl J from the keyboard, so it will also create copy like this. Now you will see it's created copy, alright, like this. So if you want to delete this one, you can delete as well, and you have this piece only. Now if you want to bring a background, alright, so you can create a new layer from here. So new empty layer created, and I told you Alt backspace to fill foreground color on the empty layer, then drag it down like this, alright. So that's how you can make a selection and how you can make it duplicate, alright. So we have learned how we can fill that selection and how we can make it duplicate and how we can move and how we can deselect. Next, there are different methods of selections. Once you are making selection like this, for example, if you have selected these pixels, alright, if you will make another selection like this, so the previous selection will gone. If you want multi-selection, every selection tool we have here, many selection tools, every selection tool has control on this property bar. So first control we have, which is called normal selection, alright. I will deselect it first of all, deselect, and first control we have, which is called normal selection, alright. Second we have add to selection, second we have subtract from selection, and last we have intersect with selection. These 4 controls you can do with every selection tool, alright. For example, in this photo I want to make 2 selections. So if you will make one selection like this, if you will try to make another selection, the previous one will gone. I will do undo. Okay, if you want to create another selection, you should activate this mode, which is called add to selection. Once you click this add to selection, now you can make many selections like this, alright. So you can create multiple selection by taking this control, which is called add to selection. If you want to remove some portion from selection, then you need to take this one, which is called subtract from selection. Now if you will select, and that portion will be subtracted from selection, alright. And last one we have intersect of selection. Intersect means the sharing portion of 2 selections. For example, I will do Ctrl D for deselect, alright. Here I will make one selection, which is this one, alright. Then I will make another elliptical, and this one I will choose this option, which is called intersect. Now if you will make selection like this, now it will give you the overlapping part of both selection, which is called intersection of those selection. Now you can move, you can fill, whatever you want to do, you can do with this selection, because first of all you have to make a selection. After that you can do whatever you want with that selection, alright. So these controls you can use with every selection tool, and we can access this option by pressing shortcut keys as well. How? For example, I'm in norm. If you want to reset any tool, right click and just reset tool, alright. So it will be on factory setting. Now for example, if you have made it this selection. All right. Now you want to make another selection, hold shift key from the keyboard. If you hold shift key, you will see tiny plus sign will appear near the cursor, right. It means you are going to add to selection like this. So you can add to selection as well by pressing shift. If you want to subtract some area from selection and this mode, look at when you press alt key, look at here. So this mode become active. Means if you will draw like this, okay, like this, so that area will be subtracted from the selection. Alright. If you want to access this last option, which is called intersect, press both key together, alt and shift, so it will give you intersection, and look at here, this option has been activated. So it will give you only the shading portion of that selection, which is this. So by pressing shortcut keys also you can access these selection controls options. Alright. So I will do Control D for deselect. Okay, what else we have in selection? Alright. So I will bring another photo. For example, I have this photo. If you want to select this, the whole subject, the subject is very clear. Go to select menu, all right, here, and here we have one option which is called subject. Okay, this command is very important. What it will do, it will find out the subject in your photo and it will make selection around it by using artificial intelligence. It's the easiest option and new feature of Photoshop. Look at here. In 1 second you can extract background. Then you need to press Ctrl J, layer via copy, or right click, layer via copy, alright, or Ctrl J. Now you will see we have extracted background. Now just delete this background, just click on here, alright, and delete. Now you have removed background quickly by clicking only one command. Now just go file and save as a PNG format, alright, just go here. So save as a PNG format, select from here, alright. So you will go here and choose PNG option, alright. We have so PNG is transparency, alright. So just click here, so that will be saved as a PNG. Now you can use this one in Illustrator, alright. Okay, that's how you can remove. If you want to change background here, I told you, you can bring another photo, click file and place embedded, alright, and you can just find out any background. Okay, for example, I have this background, press enter after placing and just bring it down. Look, it's changed, alright. So within document, by only two clicks you have changed background. You will go select in subject and Ctrl J, then bring another background. If you want to fill a color, alright, if you want to fill color, so take a new layer, empty layer, as I told you, alt backspace, it's filled, and just bring it down like this, it's done. Okay, if you want to create a new fill layer, so you can go to layer and here you have new fill layer, alright, new layer, but I want fill, solid color, select here and take any color from here like this, alright, and click OK, done. Want gradient layer, new fill layer, and take gradient and click OK, and from here you can choose any gradient layer, alright, and these are the samples like this, and OK, done. If you want any pattern layers, layer, and here new fill layer, and here you can choose any pattern layer as well, and OK, and from here you can choose any pattern to be filled like this, and you can change angle, you can change scale as well, alright, from here if you want to change like this, alright. So that's how you can take also new fill layers, alright. Now if you want to save as a photo, alright, you can go file. If you want to save this output, alright, whatever you see here, that is your final output. So go to file, and again now you have to save as, okay, file and save as, and this time you will choose option JPEG for photo, alright. To save photo, just choose JPEG, and from here you can just give any name, alright, photo JPEG, alright, or whatever, save. So this output will be saved as a JPEG, and this will be merged. You can share on Facebook, WhatsApp, wherever you want you can save. So if you want to use in Illustrator or other as a transparent background, you will save as a PNG. If you want to save as a photo, like joint everything, all right, then you will use JPEG. And first of all, you will save your project in PSD also. When you are saving first time, all right, like save, all right, then you will save in a PSD. PSD means Photoshop document. Go to file, and from here again save, and could not complete the save because the document is currently being, because we have just saved as a JPEG. Look at here, so it's saving, so it's taking time. After this one, so we can save as a PSD document. All right, so that's how you can use this selection tool, all right, and how you can control them with multiple control, and how you can remove background. All right, we have also next selection tools. Okay, we have Lasso tool and Polygonal Lasso tool, and here we have magnetic tool. We will see also how these tools works. All right, Lasso tool, actually Lasso tool is a freehand selection tool. So if you have irregular shape to be selected, just click and hold and you can make selection like this, right? So if you want to make irregular selection where the accuracy doesn't required, then you can Control D for deselect. All right, you can do again, just click hold like this. All right, for example, I want to select this one, so you can select. Now what you want to fill, you can fill. You want to move, you can move. Whatever you want to do with this selection, you can do. Make sure the right layer is selected. All right, for example, I want to move, I can move like this. Okay, if I want to copy, I can Control J, it's copied like this. All right, so this is freehand lasso tool you can use where there is no accuracy required. And if you just hover over the mouse, look at their animation, all right, it will explain how this tool will work and what is shortcut key of this tool. Next we have Polygonal Lasso tool. This tool we use a lot. Before we were using this tool a lot. This tool work click and release method, like click and release like this, and you can create like your own selection. Right, double click to connect last point with first. For example, before we were using this tool to make selections, so be accurate while selection. If you are new, spend hours, no problem, but your selection should be accurate, you know. Like this, for example, if you are spending time, no problem, spend time like this, all right, like this, click and release, okay, then you can continue like this, all right, and don't double click. Once you, okay, if you click once and by mistake, then press delete from keyboard to go back, right, and then you will continue like this, all right, and if you double click by mistake, so what will happen, it will connect last point with the first point, okay. So don't double click while making selection. So what you need to do, Control D for deselect, then you have to start again like this. So you can select, you can use this Polygonal Lasso tool also to make a selection. So any selection tool you can use, but we need a result, okay. Control D for deselect. We'll see next which tool we have. Next tool we have Magnetic Lasso tool. Magnetic Lasso tool will find out the sharp difference between pixels, high contrast between foreground and background. Look at here, the background is black and the foreground is white. Now just click once and just drag your mouse, so it will select automatically the pixels. Look, so look, you are not doing anything, but sometime it will be difficult for you, like if you move like this, so look, it will make, because it's an automatic tool. So then we will press delete to go back, but you can click also like this, click. So some people are using this tool also. You can click, if not click, like where you have doubt, you can click to correct it like this, all right, like this, and press space bar to move down, press delete like this, all right. So you can use this tool also, it's your personal choice which tool you use, all right, like this, move, and look, actually there are a sharp difference between foreground. So if there is high contrast between pixels, so you can use magnetic tool also. But if there is not sharp difference, there is no high contrast between pixels, then there will be difficult for you to select pixels. Now you can see I have selected this pixel. Zoom you can also do, like Alt and scroll wheel down, Control, then for example like here. Now if you want to connect with this, you can do double click anywhere, so it will connect last. Now you have done it, then press Ctrl J, okay, and look why, because I haven't selected the right layer. This error you will receive many times. What I will do, you should select right layer, then Ctrl J. Now it's done. Now look at here, okay. So you can delete this layer, click and delete. Look, you have used magnetic tool. But where you will use magnetic tool? Where you have high contrast between pixels, alright. Even here you can use magnetic tool, or you can select and subject also you can use, it's your own choice, alright. Actually these tools are manual tools, you have control over them, alright. Next tool which I like a lot is object selection tool. You can select whole object by taking this tool. Okay, we'll let open see. Okay, for example, in this you want to select this whole picture, right, and you don't have time also, you want to select it quickly. So here we have object tool, object selection tool, all right. So just take this tool and just make a window over the object, right. So by using artificial intelligence, it will select the whole object, all right. You will spend some time. It's like a subject, but subject will look into your whole image, but from this object selection tool you can limitize like what you want to select. Look, it's selected, all right. Okay, so you can use this tool, Control D for deselect. Same here, for example, I want to use this picture, zoom it and just like this, so you need to make like this, so it will select automatic, okay. Even if you have inside some objects like this, you want to select for example these bars, so what you will need to do, so just select like this, so it will select this bar. So same here, so object selection tool you can use to select object like this from selection, alright. So object selection tool I prefer when you have object and you have sharp difference between foreground and background, you can use object selection tool. Next tool we have quick selection tool. Quick selection tool you have is a brush. We have brush and you can just click and drag, so it will continue to select pixels wherever it has. Look, for example, just click and drag like this. You want to change brush size, you can change brush size from here. Now like this you can continue to select like this, alright. You remember we have studied controls. Every selection tool has these controls: add to selection, subtract from selection. For example, you have made it already selection. If you want to subtract, here add, so here is second, alright. Click here and you can add, right. If you want to subtract, you can subtract like this. So you can expand your selection also, and you can contract your selection also by using this control. Last tool we have, which is called Magic Wand tool. Magic Wand tool is used to select same color of the pixels. For example, you have this orange, alright. If you want to select this orange color, so it will be selected. So now it's your own choice. So which tool you will select for which purpose? We need a result, alright. Okay, we have one command also which is called select inverse. For example, let me open any photo. Select inverse means, alright, for example, Control D. So you have selected any selection tool you can select. You have selected this. Now you want to select inverse. Select inverse means just keep this selection, alright, ignore this area which I have selected and select inverse portion. So right click and select inverse. Now it will select inverse portion of this selection. Look, if you want to fill it, right click, then fill, and foreground color, okay. So the rest of the portion will be filled. That is called inverse selection. Okay, Control Z like this. For example, I'll give you one example here. For example, I want to keep his head only. So what I will do, I will select like this. Alright. Now I want to delete the rest of the area. Then right click, select inverse. Alright. Or you can go select and select inverse. Here Shift Control I is shortcut key. Now just press delete. So the rest of the area will be deleted. Some students are asking also how we can delete pixels. So it's very easy. For example, you want to delete pixels from the bottom. Just take any selection tool like this and select and just press delete. Okay, these pixels will be deleted. Any pixels you want to delete, you can simply delete. Alright, Control D and just select like this and you can delete if you want to delete. Alright, so that's how you can use select inverse as well. So in select menu, we have select, deselect, and next color range you can also select. If you have specific color range, just click, then that color range you can also select. For example, I want this blue, alright, and just click OK, and here you can see also the preview, and that blue will be selected for you. So you can also select via color range. Alright, if you want to select pixels via color range, you can also select. Alright. So this is all about the selection. Alright, now you will use the selections tools to extract photos from the background. Alright, this is most important lecture. You watch it again and again. Alright, do it, practice again and again. Then just take perfection on this. If you are not perfect while making selection, you are zero in Photoshop. Alright, selection is most important feature of Photoshop. Okay.